So here we go, start of the next adventure. Got a different crew this time, big brother. Howdy. So this is pretty exciting. Just bid farewell to Mum and the lad at the airport. Now we're going to nurse the truck home. Got about a week or thereabouts to do it. Probably a bit of desert country between here and home. Certainly for the next 3 or 4 days, not a lot of bitumen. So our plans on this trip is to cross the Simpson on the Madigan line. Bit of new territory, haven't been that way before. West to east, obviously. We've got a team following up behind us as well, so I'll introduce you to them later on. Weather's perfect. Not sure exactly how far we're going to get today. Wherever we get to, tag along. First 80 k's to Santa Teresa there is a little bit knocked around. The road surface changes quite a bit. It's a bit discerning. You can't quite see this hour of the day. It's a bit hard to determine what's going on with the road surface. Now that we're past the community, the road, although it's, you could argue, is a lesser road, it's actually better nick or easier to drive on, if nothing else. So we're just gonna eyeball somewhere to pull off the road far enough to get out of the dust and probably have half a cup. We want to get a few miles under our belt today. We'll probably be on the track until the sun's starting to get pretty low in the sky, but if the road condition stays like this, which prior experience suggests that it might, we'll get a few bull dust holes, but it's usually pretty reasonable, this track. So we'll have half a cup, stretch the legs, and that'll give us a bit of a refresh to push on. What do you reckon, the idea of half a cup?
I want a whole cup.
Whole cup. Right, I might have to reconsider the thermos rations. It's the quickest cuppa you can have. Straight out of the thermos. I think it's electric. I reckon it might be. This is the good thing about having a passenger when you're travelling along tracks like this. A gate, otherwise I'd be in and out, in and out. In a truck like this, it's a long way to climb every time you're in and out. Good on you, big brother. Good job. We've pulled up for the night. It's getting on a bit. Sun's pretty low in the sky there, so that'll do it. We've got a slab of meat we've got to cook, so we wanted a fire and a bit of preparation before the day gets too long in the tooth. So we're just setting up there. We've got Warbs and Sandra behind us there, and got a rooftop tent there. We've got Big Brother's over the back there. He's giving himself a bit of separation. I hope that's because he makes the noise and it's not us making the noise. I think it's a jet tent or something. We might have a look at that at some stage. We've got a cracking spot here. Right behind us here we've got this awesome bloody mountain, hill. It's actually the end of a range, and there's a gap going through here, and not sure if we can see it from here, but you got the other range just out the back there on the toe of the hill there. So there's the road passes through a gap, and we've just pulled off the road here just to park it up for the night. Time to settle down, I think. Settle in, regroup. Day one, it's always good to just have a reasonable hour a day and take stock of everything, work out what the plans are and where we're going from here. But in the meantime, let's just take this awesome vista in, camped amongst the mulga in the shade of red sandstone mountain. Oh, something a bit unusual tonight. We've got someone else driving the fire. Sort of looks like he knows what he's doing. We've got double fires going.
Two fire camp. Is that alright?
No.
Don't like it?
You got that bit on the wrong end.
Oh yeah, that too.
So we're still learning how to drive it, but I'm sure whatever happens, it'll be a bloody good meal. Put my faith in Warbs.
Contact.
Look at that, is it cooked yet?
Should be right for breakfast.
Ready? Look at that. Double snow peak, river red gum, lump of meat that went off 3 days ago. We'll put some veggies on soon in the cast iron. Just a few minor adjustments to the spit, the rotisserie. It was starting to screw itself apart, so a quick reversal of the batteries. Positive's now negative, negative's now positive, and we'll have it so the rotisserie is doing itself up rather than screwing itself apart. It's good that we've got people around that know what they're talking about. Putting me faith in this crew. I've had some pretty good meals cooked by them before, so high level of confidence that we'll get a feed before midnight and it'll be a bloody ripper. Sun's gone down over there now below the horizon, so the temperature's going to start dropping soon. So given that all the cooking is going on 2 fires, we're probably going to have to rug up for a little while, let the cooking do its thing. What a great first night on the track. Bloody ripper. It was, I know we did best part of 150 k's this afternoon, just pushed out into the bush there just to get away from town, and the road got better as we got away from town too, which is probably not unusual. Less traffic probably means, you know, less impact, less damage to the road. It's a less of a road as well. It's turned into a bit more of a track. Just scaled a mini mountain. View back down into camp there, watching the sunset out to the west. Ooh, who would have thought? And you can see the gap that we're in here. I'm on a mountain here on one side, and there's a bit of a pass going between the 2 mountain ranges. One by one, the crew rise from a deep slumber. Having the crackle of the oil-rich foliage burst into flame sends a subconscious arousal across the camp. Words are not required. The mere company of each other and the bleeding light emerging from behind the imposing ranges is enough. Enough to bond, enough to greet, enough to structure the day. This was the start of our new day, first day as a crew in the Simpson desert. Months of anticipation was blending into reality. Are we ready for it? No need to discuss, no need to direct, for each one of us is staring into the flames of our infant fire, reading the signals that will shape our day, shape our adventure, and shape our journey. Crack of a morning. The sun's just come up back there in the east. Oh, we've had a feed of bacon and egg wraps this morning. Time to pack down and wander on, but it's turned on a magnificent day. There's been a bit of ice on the roof. Temperature certainly feels that way. A little bit cool around the fingertips. Our plan today is to pack down and head out to the Clark Reserve. Follow Bin's track down, turn in there, and then follow the Madigan. A bit of new territory for us, following the Madigan, through to the Hay River track, and then south down that to hook up with the QAA and head across to Birdsville. So that's the whole trip, but today we're not sure how far we'll get. Yeah, like I say, it's new territory, what the track conditions are like, all that sort of thing, but we'll know when we get there. Dawning to be a crack of a day. It's always good to be tentatively stepping out into a bit of new country, a little bit of a butterfly in a gut, just to, what are we getting into? But we've had multiple trips across the Simpson before, so we're quite comfortable in the environment. It's just new track. It's got a bit of a reputation, I suppose, so you do just wonder what it's going to be like. Big brother's earning his keep today. There's a few gates on this track. Getting a bit of exercise while he's at it. It's probably not a bad thing. It's a bit cool today. A bit of exercise won't hurt. The warm up. I've been poking along for about an hour and a half now, and feet are finally warmed up. The terrain's changed considerably. We've broken out of any vegetation just into this open prairie. It's actually fantastic to see. Sand dune on our west. Just opens out a bit of rolling country on the east. So we've got the turn off just up here to the Clark Reserve. We'll poke in there, probably have half a cup and drop some more air out of the tyres, get ourselves set up and start poking into the desert proper. But the road condition along here, this road through to Old Andado, it's brilliant. Yeah, we're comfortably sitting on 75 to 80 without any effort. It's been some time since it's had a grader run over it, but it's in perfect condition. It's been a bit damp and had a bit of traffic on it. Well, the moisture's been in the road, but for the best part, it's a great drive. Whew, we found them. Well, they found us. Probably. They'll find us more in a day or two. We'll have to drag the fly nets out, I suppose, at some stage. They're friendly. not surprising, wasn't unexpected. It's all part of being out here. We're at the Mac Clark reserve, reserved for the acacia, the tree there, Acacia puce. There's only apparently like 3 known sites in Australia of this particular tree occurring. One here, which is probably the most prominent and expansive site, and there's one over between Boulia and Birdsville, and there's one other, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. I've been there as well. These are all fenced off to preserve them, keep the stock out, and they're prickly as buggery, so naturally defensive against predators, but real hypodermic prickly. So don't grab a handful if you need a few leaves to wipe your backside with. That's just my tip. Pretty spectacular. So from here, understand we start heading into the desert proper, start probably getting some dunes and what have you. So we're just going to prepare a little bit more, put the sand flags on, and well, we've got a bit of time and we've pulled up, having half a cup, still a bit of prep, drop a bit of air out of the tyres in due course, and we'll poke on. I'm not sure where we're going to get to. Either way, it's exciting because this is a bit of new territory. Madigan line, bring it on. The track starts off, you've got to traverse around the reserve, Acacia Puce Reserve or Mac Clark Reserve. So we set off, you're sort of thinking about what's ahead. A little bit of healthy anxiety, I guess, makes you sort of double check and triple check everything. It's going to be a number of days before we're back into the civilized world, though we try not to be too uncivilized. We'll poke along, we'll take it slowly, and I guess that's part of that healthy anxiety. Just listen, look, observe, take it all in, just keep an eye on everything, take it slow, we're in no hurry, we don't have a destination, we're not aiming for somewhere in particular. We just dropped a bit more air out of the tyres just to set ourselves up for a bit more sand driving and to tolerate the corrugations a bit more. They've suddenly become horrendous. I suspect what's happening is most people have turned off the good road and are waiting for the time to air down. And they haven't aired down yet. Maybe I'm hoping that's the case. We'll find a magic pullover spot where everyone airs down. The road will transform. Maybe I'm just an optimist. It'll transform for us to a certain extent. And we've gone to 20 in the back and 16 in the front. Once we get into the sand dune country, we might have to drop a bit more out. See how we go. We look forward to when Big Brother's Bistro opens for business, but in the meantime we'll just have to put up with Paul's slap up sanger. That'll do. Fresh roast beef, bit of green stuff, bit of red stuff, throw a bit of mayo on, makes anything taste good. We pulled up at a cracking spot here, just happens to be Camp 1A on the Madigan line. Camp 1 apparently is over that track in the background there. It's an out and back, so we're not going to do that. We're just poking along the main track. We are a bit time poor, so we're just going to probably stick to the main track. That's all right. It's all new, and it leaves us something to come back to. Camp 1A, and it's not surprising why you'd pull up here and camp. Plenty of shade under the mulgas. There hasn't been a lot of shade really before now, and if we camped here, we wouldn't be the first. Obviously, Madigan did. Big Brother's just putting together a traveller for the afternoon. So for some of the team, this is their first Simpson crossing. So we're sort of going to try and have a poke around and try and get the full Simpson experience. But in general, it's a commute, basically, where the mission is to go home. The route for our journey home is across the Simpson, and in this case, via the Madigan line. So we're looking forward to a couple of good campsites out here, poking around and checking out the history, the scenery, the weather and the flies. What's going on here? Driving through the desert and all we can see is, well, sand and trees, and then we stumble across this rock outcrop here. Just random, almost at the top of a dune, big outcrop of rock. It's the subtle changes that you observe. Of course, if this rock was down in the escarpment country, it wouldn't mean anything. It'd be nothing different. It's also a good spot to pull up and wet the whistle and offload. Just climbed up onto Marshall's Bluff. The track's bifurcate just below it. One heads out to Madigan camp number 2, which the traditional owners requested we don't visit, so we won't visit. It's a bit of an out and back again anyway. We've taken the easterly track. We thought we were going to skirt around Marshall's Bluff, but turns out we go straight up over it. Bloody fantastic view. A little campsite here too, a bit early in the day, so we'll keep pushing on. You can bloody hardly tell that we're in the desert. We're in a forest. It's obviously been an exceptional seasonal 3, and the vegetation's that thick, that lush. We wouldn't be able to get off the track here on one side at least, and on the other side you wouldn't want to get off the track because you'd disappear out of sight. It's been underwater for that long. It's low-lying swamp. All the trees have actually gone toes up as a result, possibly, and this is only conjecture, that there might be a bit of salt influencing what's going on there. Might have dragged up some salt. It's fascinating. You would not know if you woke up here, you would not know you're in the desert. This is amazing. Simpson Desert, lush, forest. Simpson's Forest. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Oh, we just pulled over to stretch the legs, a bit shy of Camp 5 on the Madigan line. Travelling well. Still in country that's worked agriculturally. There's still evidence of cattle everywhere and infrastructure aligned with cattle grazing, bores and dams and that sort of thing. It's just remarkable how vegetated it is at the moment. It's stunning, the contrast green against the orange sand. It's amazing. Back there it was like a forest. It was that much growth. We couldn't have got off the track on one side of the track at least, and the other side was bloody like a swamp. Fantastic to see it like this. I think we're very fortunate because, you know, as we all know, it won't last. We just got to enjoy it and make the most of it. Don't let it cloud our understanding of what the desert's like and get a false sense of security. I think that's my takeaway anyway. I've certainly seen it quite different to this. I'll enjoy it while I can. We better not rest on our laurels. How's this for a morning? We're at Camp 6 on the Madigan line. Just a camp down in the swale there. Sun's just sticking its head up there over the dune to the east. We just had a bit of a feed. Pretty simple this morning. English muffins, homemade marmalade, cooked on the coals, washed down with a good cup of hot tea. Doesn't get much better than that actually. But the moon's just starting to sink down below the dune over there. It was a crack of a night. I think it's about 3 degrees or thereabouts. It might have been a bit cooler. Just a little bit of ice formed on a couple of the tents earlier, so that suggests it was probably maybe a little bit lower. Our plan today is to heading off along the Madigan sand dune after sand dune after sand dune. I'm not sure where we'll get to. Certainly heading towards the Hay River track, obviously heading east. That's still a fair way. Best part of 9-10 campsites, and I think seem to be spaced about 20, some of them 27 k's apart, so that's a big call. I don't think we'll get that far today at all. Now that I think of it, do the maths, we're probably going to be a bit tight for fuel. Not sure if we've calculated accurately enough. I don't know, these things always tend to sort of have you on edge a little bit. Am I going to have enough? Am I going to have enough water? Am I going to have enough fuel? But the reality is I'm probably getting better mileage out of the truck than I ever do, because you just nurse it along, you poke along gingerly, and you know, I've done since Alice 450 k's so far, and fuel light hasn't come on. Normally that'd give me best part of another 100 k's when that comes on. Anxiety possibly for no reason. We'll poke along. Just gently, if worse comes to worse, big brother can jump on Shanks's pony, take the jerry can and go for a wander. A little bit of residual heat in the coals make all the difference. Warm up the pinkies. You don't need much, just take the chill off. We don't want a big fire because we've got to put it out. So to that end we use our waste water, the dishes water, and our washing up water. It's all that's needed for a little bed of coals like this. The one thing that does make all the difference, that sun popping up over there. Where you get the warmth. Our number one cameraman might be losing interest in the job. Might be hard to get him motivated. He just planted his ass in a bloody nest of massive thorns, like big burrs.
The size of an acorn.
Size of an acorn. He leapt up, he planted his ass, but all I could see was this person leaping over the dune. He'll be picking them out for the rest of the week, I think. Not every day that happens. I run over the cameraman. We just went down the back of that dune there, which is interesting in its own right. The east side of this dune on a track that's a one-way track west to east, the east side was chopped out big time, wombat holes, just my number one cameraman, big brother, got out to film it. Good articulation, flex. And the truck knocked him over, flattened his ass. Got hit, run over him. Once again, it's a cracker of a day out here in the desert. So we headed off this morning from Camp 6, which is where we camped last night, to Camp 7, Madigan Camp 7. It was about 28 kilometres between the two. It took us probably the best part of 2 hours. A little bit of bumming around, jumping out and filming. And it's about 20 k's to Camp 8, which we're probably near on halfway now, but it's just so pleasurable to just be poking along. Probably be doing averaging 14-15 kilometers an hour, and it's easy. The sand's relatively firm. A couple of the dunes are chopped out, but interestingly enough, I'm still looking for an explanation, but interestingly enough, the east side of a couple of the dunes are fairly flogged out. Now, given this is a one-way track, west to east, not sure why the east side should be flogged out. It's massive craters on a couple of dunes. whether somebody's been having difficulty on the western face and they've been getting towed over and the tow vehicle's struggling for traction. It's possibly one theory. Another theory is that people think, wow, this is a steep dune, I'm going to turn around and see if I can get up it. Chewing it out. Theory 2. Theory 3 is there's more people go the wrong way than we know of. We haven't seen anyone. Well, we haven't seen anyone go either way, so not sure what the explanation is. There'll be one there somewhere, but surely we can't be flogging out the backside of dunes just by coasting down them. So I'm not sure. If you know what the answer to that is, chuck it in the comments below. What's your theory? Why are the eastern side of the dunes on the Madigan line, which is a one-way track, flogged out? I'd be keen to know, because it's got us a bit baffled. While reviewing our footage during the editing process, we noticed this. Sand being displaced as the vehicle descends. Is it the independent suspension? Is it the modern traction control or braking? Not sure, but clearly shows the vehicle moving the sand from the dip into the mound. What's causing it? Let us know. Probably something that's more applicable to Iveco owners than anyone else, I suppose, but we're just poking along in high range, high, somewhere between first, second and third. Occasionally across the swales we drop her into third gear and just poke along, barely going over 2,000 revs, just steady. So we're sitting somewhere probably 14 to 25 kilometers an hour, and I've got the center diff lock in, and that is getting us everywhere. Tyre pressures, of course, 20 psi in the back and 16 in the front is what I'm running at the moment. We've got no traction issues at all, and we've got no gearing issues. It's just some of the dunes that aren't as chopped out, I can keep it in second like we are now, and when it gets a bit chopped out, I drop it into first and just crawl over, but that's high first, and there's just no issues whatsoever. Oh, just pulled up and had a bite to eat at the well, where are we? Somewhere between Camp 8 and Camp 9. It's a great little spot here amongst the Gidgee. Very protected if you're looking for a campsite. Nestled in there, gets you out of the wind. We certainly weren't the first ones to pull up there and put the nose bag on. Pretty popular spot. Extends back further and there's a bit of standing water right back, so probably pretty good for some bird watching amongst the Gidgee. We've snapped 2 of bolts that hold the tray onto the chassis. Big fucking deal. So I can come up with a fix that I'm confident will get us by. I certainly feel very isolated. Maybe I'm getting a bit sensitive. Well worthwhile.